Hello, everyone. Patrick Poisabilia. Hi, everyone. Hey, welcome. Welcome to a conversation around bodies and you. And thank you, Josette, for inviting me for this. And how much fun can we have with talking about bodies and talking about what else is truly possible with the creation of your body? So, where would you like to go today? And which one of you has a question with bodies or something else? Do any of you have questions around bodies?
I will go for something.
Yes,
So,
please, Rosette. Go for it, my dear.
yeah, I discovered something about my body. I was in a place where nature is very present for a
Right.
few days
Mm-hmm.
for a few days, and I discovered how much my body loved to receive from nature. And I got this sensation of fulfillment,
Mm.
and I'm like, and then I came back home
And then I came back home. Yeah.
where where all of this is so different,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering what else is possible with bodies that we have not even yet explored with our bodies. What are all these capacities that we have for restructuring and healing like physical ailment.
Wow.
So that and what is possible with that.
Yeah. That's so beautiful, Josette, that you started with, you're acknowledging that your body is different in nature, and how much of that is the awareness of your body that you have made yours. What awareness do you have of nature, that when you are with nature there's an expansiveness, there's joy, there's healing, there's just ease. And then when you are, with people, or when you are in the same space, maybe your home, there's an awareness of other people's realities, there's an awareness of other people's bodies. There's also an awareness of what was in your home that you connect with, so you can stay the same with your home. A lot of that is the messed reality. A lot of that is where you are operating as the messed reality with, your bodies, because you made matter significant, you made matter real, you've made people significant, you made their points of view significant and real. But when you're with nature, there is no significance, there is no matter, there is nothing. Whatever is significant comes under mest, right? So you cannot make nature significant. There is, simply because nature doesn't make itself significant, but people make themselves significant. So how much of your awareness of nature is what nature is being, that when you tap into, allows you to be it. Everything that doesn't allow that, and everything that doesn't allow you to be that space, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pork, all 100 shots, boys, poets, spacies, creations, and beyonds. and how much of your awareness of people and their points of views and their bodies, their pains, their lack, their need, their diseases, their, their insanities are you aware of when you are around them, that has you trying to understand them, trying to fit in with them, trying to belong with them, that has you giving up your reality for the messed reality, which is the embodiment of insanity that we choose in that moment. Where, with nature, there's an embodiment of sanity. There's an embodiment of ease, of peace. And then when you're around people and you make all their points of views yours, you literally step into the embodiment of insanity. So, how many of you have chosen to embrace the embodiment of insanity, that people be, that your past be, that the reference points be, that the connection points be, that doesn't allow you to be the space that you came here to be? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pork, all 100 shots, boys, poets, spaces, creations, and beyonds. Yeah, Josette.
And yes, it's totally that. It's like we don't realize, I don't realize how much I embody what is around me
Yes.
at a point that is like we can not even imagine how much we are not ourselves when
Yes.
just yeah, this thing of coming back home, coming back to the imprints of this house.
Yes. Yeah,
And
coming
yeah.
back to the imprints of this house, coming back to the imprints of who you were when you left the house, coming back to the imprints of, everyone who's been in that house. Everything seems so
Mm,
familiar. And it's solid, right? It's solid because most of it is heavy.
mm, mm.
So it's
And how
easy.
much of that, yeah, yeah, and how much of that is like when we want to, let's talk about also when we want to change our body, we want to change something with our body. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
I mean, that. How many of you want to change your body, you must go to what it was.
hmm. Yeah.
And
I always say go back like 10 years ago, but the version of me 10 years ago maybe had a slimmer body, but had so much more heaviness in all the
exactly.
other
Thank you for
ways.
saying that. Yeah. Thank you
Mm,
for
mm.
saying that. It was slimmer, but it was not lighter.
Yeah, thank you.
That. And everywhere
Mm.
that slim and lightness has been misidentified as the same thing. Can we
Wow.
destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pork, all 100 shots, boys, forward, spaces, creations, and beyond. And thank you for bringing that up, Josette, because what in my few years of facilitating foundation classes and 3-day body classes, and talking about bodies and seeing what else is truly possible, the one thing that I've noticed is most of the people have misidentified slim as light. And they're like, when I'll be slim, I'll be happy. When I'll be thin, I'll be light. No, one could be slim, thin, or have that absolutely amazing body that you always wanted to have. But there could be so much of rigidity that comes with that. There could be so much of stiffness that comes with that. There could be so much of heaviness that comes with that. And everywhere that you've actually decided and concluded that slim equals to light, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, park, all 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. There's an energy that your body be, which really has nothing to do with the weight or the shape or the size. There's an energy that your body be that it shows up as the lead, the active, the energetic congruency Let you be with the energy or what you're asking to be when you're asking to be that. And are you all willing to actually be in the question, or what is your body asking for? And are you being that for the body?
Yes, I have a question. May I,
Yes,
Rosette?
please go ahead.
Okay. How can we differentiate between perceiving and receiving something with our body
Yeah,
and tapping into something material rather than energy?
yeah. So the first question, can you repeat the
How
question,
can we
please?
how can we differentiate between perceiving and receiving something with our body
Yeah.
and tapping into something material rather than energy?
Ah, okay. The first part I get, the second part I don't. The second, so okay. So how much of your question is coming from a conclusion or what it is instead of it being the space of what it is? Now, from this space, I'd like you to reframe your question, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Um, I make it simpler. How
Yeah.
can we differentiate between something which is energy and something which is material?
Ah, thank you. There. Yeah. Now that's the energy of your question. Thank you for that, Noor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so everything is energy, including material. All right?
Okay.
Everything. All right? So when you're trying to differentiate between energy and what is material, you're really going into a separation and a need to understand it instead of perceiving the energy of it. Like your first part of the question was perceiving and receiving the energy, right? Which is beautiful. Because when you're so what if that is the space of your question? Like what will it take to perceive and receive the energy of everything around me, including what is materialistic, including the
Hello,
matter,
ito lagi
include
berpasinggahan.
including everything that
Millennium?
is
Yes.
um one moment. Could I please request you all to put yourselves on mute? Thank you. I'm actually on my phone. My laptop is in charge, so I'm not going to be able to do it with these. Thank you. Okay. All right. So what do you perceive about the energy that you receive with total ease? Get that energy. What do you perceive about the energy that you receive? What do you perceive about the energy that you reject? The first was there a difference in the two? Noor?
Yes. The first one was lighter and more accessible.
Yeah.
The second one was a question mark.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. The question mark. What was it heavier than the first?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
That.
And I tap into the things that happen with the second one.
That. Right?
Yeah.
Now do you see how you perceive energy? So it's really not about the material, darling. It's not about the matter. It's it's knowing that when there's something heavy around an energy, that's not true for you. And what's not true for you is the messed reality. Everything that's heavy is where you have stepped into the messed reality. Okay, so that's how you actually start to recognize the difference between the two. Because, like I said earlier, everything is energy. Everything. Even this reality is energy. Okay?
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that gave you clarity, Noor.
Yes, yes, indeed it is.
Amazing. Awesome.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
Good. You're welcome. Okay, does anybody else have a question? Oops, who's um Greta, my dear, could I please ask you to mute yourself, darling? Thank you. Any questions? Anyone else has a question around bodies or anything else? It doesn't have to just be about bodies. I know we said body. Okay.
I have another one,
Yes, go
if
for
I
it,
may.
darling. Go for it. Go
Yes.
for it. Yeah.
Um, it's about entities.
Yeah.
Normally, when actually we have entities in the house,
Yeah.
and energy wise and physically also with our body,
Yeah.
we can sense it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can sense it, and we know that there's something entering the house, and it create chaos. Not chaos as we know all. It creates something bad, maybe bad situation, something like this, and it goes on like a pattern. It repeats at every happy occasions. As for me, in case of myself, every happy occasions that happens in the house, I sense it, and it does create something bad after that. How do I deal with that?
So something that was, something that I once heard Shannon say, which really changed a lot about the way I perceive entities around me, is your point of view about the entity world is what the entities will show up as. So, what points of views do you have about the entity world that has them showing up the way they do? Because, see, darling, when there's a pattern in your life, you got to look at that pattern and recognize that that's something that you are choosing again and again. Patterns don't happen to you. In fact, nothing happens to you. You choose it all. So when you're choosing, when a pattern is showing up in your life again and again and again, there's something that you love about that. And what you love about that often is what you're holding on to, is your point of view, your the value that you've attached to that. So what points of views do I have about this, about the entities, about the spirit kingdom, about the happy moment, or whatever that has this showing up? And what points of views, what really had energy when you spoke about that was, what points of views do you have about happy moments? Have you decided it's too good to be true? Have you decided you can't have it? Have you decided it will be jeopardized? Have you decided it cannot last? And have you hired entities to disrupt that for you, to disrupt the joy for you? Everywhere you may have given them the job in any lifetime. Would you please be willing to destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pork, all 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. And would you be willing to fire the entities from their job? Your job is done. You guys are free to go. and all the oaths, vows, communalities, realities, commitments, bonding, binding contracts that you made with them in this lifetime or in any other lifetime to disrupt the joy that you could receive and be. Would you now be willing to revoke, recant, reclaim, rescind, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate at all times the Godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, button park, all 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. How many techie realities have you hired that don't allow possibilities into your worlds? How many techie realities have you hired to disrupt the possibilities that you could be choosing, creating, and be the source for? What if you are the source for possibilities? And what if joy is one of them? What if joy is one of the possibilities that you bring into the world? Everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, perceive, and receive the source of change that you be, that could allow magic, miracles, mysteries, possibilities. Would you just try and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. Did that change something for you, Noor?
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. I'm glad. Yeah. How does it get any better? Okay. Sakshi has a question. How can we help people understand what it is, this energy world? Some people are so rigid about knowing about it and accept the fact. Oh, sweetheart, you can't make anyone do anything. Or can you? No. I mean, you could try and make it really hard for yourself. Or you could be an allowance of what they choose. The more you choose, Sakshi, the more you grow, the more you expand, the lighter you will be. And will that will transform and change and mutate energies around you that are willing to be different. And those that are not, are you willing to be an allowance of that? Because there is no right way, there is no wrong way. It's not that because you get energy or because I get energy, we are better than others. It's not that if somebody cannot get energy, it's not that they're wrong, right? It's more of okay, this is my language. This is the language I know. This is the language I'm really good at. What can I say, do, and be that can have them receive and choose the possibilities? What what can I what can I do, be, say that can have them receive the energy? And everybody will receive it differently. You know, Dane didn't receive it for a number of years, and he was like, I thought I just don't get energy, but my life kept changing, right? And then there will be a number of people who will make you wrong for what you do. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Actually, this is happening with me that, it's like, that you should do this or you should do that. This is not the right thing what you're doing, and why you continuously choosing it again and again. But I'm just clueless how to explain them what I am feeling right now.
Mm, Gary says, do not justify, do not explain. And that set me free. There is no need to explain, there is no need to justify to anybody why you choose what you choose, because there is no why. You just simply choose because you can. They simply don't choose because they can. There's no right and there's no wrong. So when they ask you such questions, you can always turn it into humor. You can always be like, I know I'm just so different. I'm just so crazy. I know I just keep doing these crazy things. Thank you for
And they're
having the
calling me
patience with me.
arrogant. You've
Ah,
gone arrogant. You have your own point of views and you don't want to agree on somebody's else point of view, and you're just in your own world and you are operating from a different level. And but they're like, "Ki, why are you turning so arrogant about the gift you have got of access consciousness?" And I am not doing that. It's just it's, I don't know how to explain it.
but that's where you're going to justify that I'm not doing that.
But
What
that
if you're like,
makes me so heavy, and it makes me so, it makes me dim my light, basically.
yeah, because simply because you want them to validate what you're choosing.
Yeah.
Every validation is an invalidation. You may have heard me say this a million times before.
Yeah.
Every validation is an invalidation. Don't seek validations from
Mm.
anybody. What acknowledgement can I be for myself that has me seeking, that I'm not being, that if I would be,
It will change my world.
and you would know no more need validation from the outside world. What are you not acknowledging about the difference of you that has others judging you for it? Everything that doesn't allow that, would you please destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds.
That was hard.
Hard?
Yeah.
Or was it hard, or was it just something
No,
that,
it made me light, but it was hard for my, the feelings I was carrying.
yeah. What are feelings? Feelings are just lies, right? They're inventions. You choose to create to feel so you can justify your choice.
I never thought about this thing. Feeling something is also a choice, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Feeling is not natural. Feeling is normal.
Mhm.
What inventions am I using to create the feelings I am choosing? One of the oldies that I have run so much on myself, you cannot begin to imagine. Run that and set yourselves free. Feelings is what will always keep your life heavy. I feel sad, I feel angry, I feel. I was feeling bad, which is why I spoke like that. I felt so sad because she said this to me. These are all justifications to yourself for being who you're choosing to be in that moment. If there was no justification, there was no reason, there was no explanation as to the why, would you really choose to feel, or would you just acknowledge that you could choose?
Just acknowledge it and choose
Ah,
it.
that. Just acknowledge it, darling. You acknowledging yourself is the greatest gift that you can be for the difference of who you be. The more you acknowledge yourself, and acknowledgement doesn't come from a space of superiority. Acknowledgement doesn't come from a space of I'm greater than you. Acknowledgement comes from the space of I see the beauty in you and I see the beauty in me. I acknowledge the beauty in me while I acknowledge the beauty in you. Acknowledgement is inclusion. It's There's a lot of generosity of spirit in acknowledgement. So when you actually acknowledge yourself, you're being the generosity of spirit. So everything that doesn't allow you to have that complete ease with everyone's points of views around you, the wrongness, the rightness, whatever that is, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. Did that give you clarity, love?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome, my dear. I see another question. Lira. Okay. The source of energy, we are connected to the main source, God, creator. So, what does Access say about the purpose of source? Okay. So, purpose of source. What if the purpose of source was just to know that you can be? Where you look for a purpose, you have to limit what you can receive. So, if you're looking for a purpose of being a source, you have to limit who you can be. Instead of limiting the source of what and who you can be, what if you could acknowledge the source that you be? To be the source, you are connected to whatever, the God, the universe, the ultimate creator, or whatever you want to give that name. But to be the source of your life, to be the source of creation, you have to be connected to the source while being the inclusion with the source. So it's not like I am the source and this is the source and now we are connected. No, it's I am the source and this is the source and this is the creation, the creative energy, the source of who I be. The moment you see yourself as separate from the source, you have to create a connection with the source. What if there is no separation? What if you are a part of the source that you call God, that you call the ultimate creator, the ultimate source, or the universe? What if you are that? And everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, perceive, and receive that you be that, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, or 100 shots, boys, poets, species, creations, and beyonds. To be the source, you have to be, there's To be the source, there's a willingness to receive that you must say yes to. If you're not willing to receive, can you be the source? And if you're not willing to be the gift to the source, can the source gift you so you can be the source? You know, gifting, receiving, it's all a simultaneous action. So, what source of creation, what source of miraculousness are you that you haven't yet acknowledged? That if you could acknowledge today, could have you show up as the source of miraculousness that you came here to be. Everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, perceive, and to receive that, would you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 100 shots, voice, probits, spaces, creations, and beyonds. So, what source of possibilities is your body that has you seeking outside of you constantly? What source of creation is your body that's probably too much for you to receive, that has you seeking outside of you constantly? What if you knew that your body is the source of creation, that if you said yes to it, could have it change, shift, mutate, transform into the miraculousness that it came here to be? What if you could, all that was left to say, do, be, was to say yes to your body instead of fighting your body? What kindness would that mean to you and your body? What kindness could that show up as? What could you heal, nurture, change in your body that you have been fighting to shift unsuccessfully? Did that give you more clarity, my dear? Yeah? No? Yes? No? Okay. All right. You're welcome, Lira. Okay, so are we good for tonight or do we have another question? You're welcome, Shobha. Amazing. All right. So you're welcome, Dodi. When will your book be? Sorry, what was that question? I missed it. Um, Let me go down to the chat. Where is the chat? Chat. Lisa, when will your book be published? I already have a few books, that I have written for Access Consciousness. When I meet you, I will gift you one.
I wanted to add something, if I can.
Please do.
Um, We are more than excited to, we are waiting for you here in Mauritius. So if anyone else around the world is here on the call, you're invited to all the classes that we are having with Chandana at the end of the month in beautiful Mauritius.
Oh my God, I love
So
Mauritius. It's beautiful.
how lucky are we? We are having you soon in Mauritius. So if you have any question about the foundation or the 3-day body class or any other classes, you can reach Chandana or myself and ask for whatever information you require. And yeah, what would it take to create all of this with total ease?
Totally, my dear. Absolutely, Josette. And I just want to put in this one little word here that creating with you is always so much ease. I mean, this is our second creation in Mauritius. And creating with you is this space that, allows us to explore. And I think which also goes into the class, which also goes into the class creation. It's also the energy of who you be, the energy of the land of Mauritius, which is just so nurturing, so expansive. It's just a different energy. I mean, I've traveled around the world facilitating classes, and when I do body classes in different parts of the world, what I really love about that is receiving from the land and having the land facilitate the bodies that come to class through me. I literally asked the land to facilitate. I'm like, would you be willing to facilitate through my body, please? And it's this absolutely amazing energy that Mauritius is willing to gift each one of us if we are willing to receive. I
Yeah,
remember,
yeah.
yeah, I remember that last class, of the how much of the land facilitated each one of us. And I also do recall how many conversations we had around where we were slaves and where we our
Mm,
bodies were still being the slaves to lack and to need and to the past that the bodies were showing up as. And I just when I got to Delhi after the last class in Mauritius, my body was different. I could finally I recognized I was no at the level of abuse that I was being with my body way before had changed so much after using the tools of access. But the level of abuse, when I say level of abuse, it's almost like because I wasn't listening to my body. So when you don't listen to your body, you're actually abusing your body. So the level of
mm,
abuse that had shifted after I started to use the tools of access, got body processes run, was huge. And then when I received from the energy of Mauritius, and when we had those very, 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 very phenomenal conversations around where, we were around being a slave and all of that energy, it literally got me to recognize where I was still abusing my body as probably in some lifetime, that was what was comfort for me.
mm.
Like, how many of
Well, thank
you,
you for sharing.
yeah, like how many of you have really been comfortable being the slaves to misery, being the slaves to lack, being the slaves to abuse, being the slaves to aggression, oppression,
To
whatever,
no choice.
to no
To no
choice.
choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Thank you for
Mm,
that.
mm,
And what if you can actually let yourself be free of that energy
mm.
by allowing yourself to embrace the possibility that this could bring into your world?
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, Noor, I'm looking forward to. Yay, I'm so happy you're going to be there. Yay, amazing. I look forward, sweethearts, and you're all invited. come play. Let's have fun with this different energy. And yeah, let's just explore as to what else is truly possible.
What else is possible? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Josette, once again,
Thank,
darling.
thank you.
And I look forward to seeing you.
Oh, yes, me too.
Thank you, Chandana.
Thank you, sweethearts. Bye, darlings.